Hi, I'm Greg from the Scary Spirits podcast, and today I'm going to show you how to make the Shark Lady cocktail, which is the featured cocktail in tonight's episode. We're going to start with a shaker. In the shaker, we are going to pour 1.5 ounces of coconut rum. 1.5. To that, we're going to add 1/2 ounce of blue curacao. Half an ounce. And to that, we're going to add equal parts pineapple juice, I'm going to do 4 ounces. Four ounces of pineapple juice, 4 ounces sour mix. Four ounces. And then we cover and shake vigorously until nice and frothy. All right. And then we are going to pour that over rocks. Directions say in a 12-ounce tumbler. I'm going to use a Scary Spirits pint glass. Yes. Look at that. And then we garnish with a gummy shark. Awesome sauce. It says there are no place for straws, but I'm going to use a metal reusable straw. Delicious. Enjoy. Hope you like the podcast. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to the Scary Spirits podcast. Please be advised that the presenters may use adult language and or discuss adult situations. This podcast is not intended for younger listeners or those that may be easily offended. So if you're ready, let's go.
Hi, I'm Greg.
And I'm Karen.
And welcome to the Scary Spirits podcast. The podcast that combines the two very different but highly compatible worlds of scary films and alcoholic spirits.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yes, what could possibly go wrong? How are you, Karen?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay.
Oh, just okay.
Yeah.
Not enough thirsty work today.
Well, it rained a lot.
Well, let's see.
I still worked up a sweat.
Greg's a lot happier when he does a lot of thirsty work.
So this week's movie it was my choice, right?
Yes, it was. And why did you choose this movie, though? What's your criteria this week?
Well, when this episode goes live, we will be smack dab in the middle of Shark Week, apparently.
On the Discovery Channel.
I guess. I don't watch it. I don't like sharks. I don't like Shark Week. And I was very hesitant about this week's movie.
Shark Week is awesome, though. Anyway, the movie this week is...
It's a film called Bait from 2012. Yep. An Australian film.
Obviously, once they open their mouths.
Yeah. And this week's cocktail is the Shark Lady.
This one's tasty.
Would you like to know what ingredients you need?
I would.
So you're going to need 1.5 ounce coconut rum, a half an ounce blue curacao, and then equal parts pineapple and sour mix. I used 4 ounces of each.
I used 2 ounces of each. So I might be a little loopy by the end.
Would you like to know how to make it?
Absolutely. Quit drinking it and tell the people how to make it.
Add all ingredients in a shaker. Cover and shake vigorously until nice and frothy. Pour over rocks in a 12-ounce tumbler. Garnish with a gummy shark.
Pour over rocks.
Pour over rocks. Ice.
Thank you.
In a 12-ounce tumbler. And it says don't use a straw because straws are, bad for the ocean. But I am using a metal reusable straw. So,
as am I. Would you like to give the one listener time to gather his ingredients or her ingredients?
Sure. Hang on. All right, okay. And we're back. So are we ready to get into the movie, Karen?
I'm ready if you are. Unless you don't want to, unless you're scared of the sharks.
Well, I am scared of sharks.
You're feared?
I am feared of sharks. See, when I was 9 years old, Karen, I went to the movie theater and saw Jaws. And it traumatized me for life, you might say.
I was scared to swim in the swimming pool after I saw Jaws.
Me too.
When I was 9.
Yeah, me too.
I thought it was going to come up through the drain in the bottom and get me.
Yeah, me too. The first thing I did when I jumped in the pool, I put my little goggles on and I swam down to the bottom, looking in every corner, looking all so there wasn't no sharks in there hiding.
In the clear pool water.
Yeah.
No 12-footers in there.
No. And thankfully I've survived. So I must have been doing something right.
So far you've been evasive enough.
Yeah, which is part of the reason why I picked Bait. Of all the other shark films that are out there, this one takes place in an odd scene, correct?
Not in the ocean. You're not in the open ocean.
Right. Yeah. So there is, in the beginning, the first shark attack does occur in the open ocean. But after that, it's in a very odd location. So I thought, well, that might be okay.
Would you, with this fear that you have, would you not book a tour to go like scuba diving in the open ocean if you were in the Caribbean or something? Because people, when they get
probably not.
That's where a lot of the movies are. They forgot the couple was on board and they're left there.
Well, I don't watch those movies.
Oh. So
it's not that big of a deal, but I don't know if I would or not. I don't know. It's tough. I've swam in the ocean.
You
many
have
times.
swam in But this is where
I was 9 years old. But
they take you out on a boat far into the ocean.
And I've been on boats far out in the ocean.
And you've dropped in the ocean?
No.
Oh.
But
that's what I'm saying, where you would go out into far away from the shore and then drop in and swim around.
No, that's probably not for me.
Okay.
Enough about me.
Is it ever enough about you?
My first line of my notes is, all right, here we go. Not looking forward to this. I don't like sharks. That's the first thing I wrote.
You're still going to not like sharks.
We'll see.
but you can do it.
We'll see.
It's true. I might have to take over.
So the movie opens on a beach, and there are a couple lifeguards. Looks like they're coming to work. I don't know. They are there to check on a boy. And it is the morning after one of the lifeguards' engagement party.
Yeah, there's one guy in an older car with his feet sticking out, and the newer car comes up blasting music. And yeah, the one in the older car with his feet hanging out the window isn't in great shape.
The lifeguard, you mean?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah, because he's hungover from his bachelor party, or no,
Right.
engagement party.
Engagement
excuse
party.
Me.
I don't know what the
Engagement
difference
party.
is, but and apparently he is marrying the other lifeguard's sister.
Yes.
Yes. So there we learn their names are Josh and Rory. So Josh is the one who's engaged and he's hungover. And he kind of sends Rory out to check on the boy. because
Okay,
he's
so
hungover.
you say
Boy.
they said boy, but it's
Boy.
a buoy, right?
Buoy, boy,
Yeah.
buoy.
Yeah, that's how I say it. It took me a long time to figure what boy are they checking on? Is there just like a boy hanging out? It's your turn to check on the boy. Okay, what's and then he gets on, he's going out into the ocean to check on the boy. Took me a while. Yeah. Anyway.
I call it a boy, but it is also known as a buoy. You are correct. So then we see Josh's fiance Tina, correct?
That's
in her bikini.
We see the back end of her. But yes.
And my first notes on Tina are that she needs to eat a hamburger or two.
She's model thin.
She's skinny. She's too skinny.
In fact, she turns around. When she turns around, I wrote down she looks like Elizabeth Hurley. Do you know who that is?
Yes, I do.
Just in that one moment when she turned around, I thought, wow, she's pretty. She looks like Elizabeth Hurley, but also very thin. Yes.
Yep.
You missed the old guy in the Speedo.
No, I didn't.
On the beach, walked
I
by
didn't
on the
miss him.
beach.
I
You
miss
didn't?
him.
You
No.
just didn't mention him?
No, I'm not mentioning him.
Okay.
I want to
he's
hear in a second.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
So Rory goes out there to take care of the buoy on his surf ski or surfboard or whatever they call them these days. And we see a shark in the water. And then
Yeah. The old guy's swimming. He's swimming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the old guy is swimming out there. And he's talking about the Speedo guy, right?
Yeah.
And he gets eaten by the shark.
Yeah. Speedo guy's the first casualty. And how many minutes in was that? Were you happy?
Well, we haven't even gone through all the credits yet. This is like a pre-scene,
Yeah.
right?
So,
And
well, you complain when it takes too long. So this was pretty quick.
I know. But I did make a note that there was a pretty good blood effect in the water. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Is he the one that got cut in half?
The swimmer dude gets like just sucked under and
Okay.
blood. That's all you see, right? And then we see the shark come up and get Rory, right?
Well, Josh goes out on the jet ski
Yeah, he does.
to try to save him.
He yells, "Shark, shark." He jumps on the jet ski and tries to go out there.
But he can't hear him.
No, he can't. And he doesn't make it.
I was surprised by that. They killed off Rory so quickly. We also find out while all this is happening that the couple on the beach, the sister and Josh, are going to go to Singapore. So they're going to leave after they get married, I guess.
Yeah, I don't.
So-
So yeah, she has a thing about Singapore. I don't know. And actually, according to the Wikipedia, this is a 2012 Australian-Singaporean horror disaster film. So I don't know.
Maybe that's why she mentions it. But they're supposed to leave all of this behind.
Go to
So-
Singapore.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So that just prompted me to look up how much Australian lifeguards make because I was curious if they were willing to leave it all behind.
Yeah.
Do you want to know how much
Yeah.
they make? $50,000 to $70,000 a year.
American?
Well, I assume it said dollars, so
It's not
it's
bad.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough job though when you're checking the buoys. Yeah, so Josh is trying to pull Rory up onto the jet ski, and of course he's struggling, and the shark bites off his legs.
That's right. It does.
And he slowly sinks in the bloody water.
Yeah. And I said, pretty good blood effect.
Very good blood effect. And the sisters on the beach screaming, no.
And then we have more credits to read. Well, I'm not going to tell you what they say because I didn't write them down. But this was like a scene halfway through the credits. Had some credits, then this scene, then more credits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then we cut to a scene of Josh in his apartment. And I don't think they made it clear, did they, that this is like 1 year later?
It says 12 months later.
Oh,
Flashes
did it?
up. Yeah, but I know you don't like to read.
Yeah, I missed it. But it is 12 months later.
Yes.
I wrote 1 year, but I guess it's 12 months later. So,
And the news is talking about the sharks.
right. And we see a ring on the necklace, which I guess is like an engagement ring or some shit. I don't know.
Well, so we know they're no longer
Yeah,
together.
just things didn't go well after Josh sent his fiance's brother out to die. Things did not go well.
Yeah, that's not going to help.
And so Josh walks out and we see a Siberian husky who seems very distressed.
Yeah, all the dogs in the neighborhood are barking.
And I wrote, why would someone have a Siberian husky in Australia?
It's true. It's not the ideal
Yeah,
situation.
it's not their climate, I don't think.
And he notices the wind's picking up and the birds are making a racket.
And they all come into shore, flying into shore, all the birds.
Yeah, the birds do. Yeah.
So then we cut to some shady dudes in a car, I wrote.
Mm-hmm. He walks past suspicious guys in sunglasses.
And the guys see a traffic cop in their rearview mirror and they decide to move out of sight some more. And the car looks like an El Camino, but I don't think it is.
Well, they're moving to the car park. That's what my Australian GPS guy says. Pull into the car park. So they move into the car park.
And it is the Oceania Food Mart.
Just the food mart. It's got food. He walks through a cafe and then there's a grocery store.
Yeah, but he goes downstairs to get into the grocery store, though. That's
Right.
kind of weird.
Yeah, the cafe was kind of on street level and then he went down some stairs to get into the food store. And
I guess that's what you do in Australia. I don't know.
and it becomes obvious that he works there.
Yeah, Josh, right?
And he's grumpy. Because a girl tries to be nice to him and he's kind of not a jerk, but he's just grumpy.
Naomi tries to be nice to him. And we cut to a couple in the parking garage of the food mart with a Pomeranian. And I wrote, Pomeranians are annoying. That's what I wrote. That was my impression of that. And then we cut to a shoplifter up there in the food mart, a female shoplifter who we learn is named Jamie.
Yep. And she's
just
taken stupid stuff like shampoo and sunglasses, and seems like just for sport, not out of need.
correct.
The shoplifter gets busted by security. He runs after her, right?
Yep.
And she runs into a back room where there's a guy. So she evades the security for a minute. And he says, happy 11-month anniversary.
Yep.
And
To
that's-
Ryan,
That's Ryan.
who works there.
Yeah. And then she tries to give him the stolen sunglasses. But he's a good guy and he tells her to put it
them
back.
Yeah, put them all back. Put everything back.
And then some adults come in and spoil the fun.
Yeah. Yep. The store manager comes in and said, I've already called the cops.
Ryan gets fired.
Yes, Ryan gets fired. And then does Josh's ex come in?
Yeah. So Josh and the friendly girl,
Naomi.
yeah, are stocking the shelves.
Yep.
And she asked Josh if the birds were weird when he
Yeah.
came in.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah. And then Josh looks up and sees
Tina.
And she
Tina
has-
with her new beau, Steven.
from Singapore.
Then we cut to the couple in the parking garage making out.
Well, wait, go back. The cop arrives and the shoplifting girl recognizes him.
Well, yeah, it's your dad.
It's her dad. Then they go back to the car park
Yeah.
and they're kissy facing.
Heather and Kyle
Yeah,
are in
Kyle.
the car pack.
And they do a very distinct job of making these two quite the stereotypes. She's the rich blonde girl, and he's the
Is she? Really?
yeah, and she's wearing the Gucci shoes and has the
Well.
Pomeranian, and she's driving the BMW.
She's
and
not driving,
The license plate says Heather on it.
does it?
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Well, he's driving.
Kyle's the athletic asshole.
Yeah.
They make that very clear about this couple. They're the
Yeah.
very superficial,
I
unlikable
almost
couple.
feel like they're like comic relief.
They're supposed to be, but they're very serious stereotypes too. Yeah. They are.
And then we cut to the robbers casing the joint. One of them is being forced.
Yeah, that's Julian McMahon. Did you recognize him? Did you ever
No.
watch Nip Tuck?
No, but I did look him up and I saw he was in that. He was also Dr. Doom in the Fantastic Four movies too.
Yeah, that I didn't see, but I recognized him from Nip Tuck.
His name is Doyle in the film, this movie.
He's got very manicured eyebrows.
I like him.
Yeah, he's a menacing guy. Look, he looks menacing.
He looks like he might have been like a special forces dude at some point or something. That's the kind of feeling I got. You know what I mean? Throughout the whole movie, I'm like,
yeah,
this guy
he's kind of uptight.
Military.
Yeah,
it looks like is he wearing a dog tag too?
I didn't notice that, but he's wound really tight. They make you know right away he's doing something bad, but he's really a good guy because he's
still
forced.
a badass though.
Yeah, well, yeah, but he's only robbing this place to help his brother or something. Is that what it was?
Something like that. I don't know.
He's doing this for his brother. Then after this, they are straight, never to see each other again. Sorry, go ahead.
And here I made a note. I like their accents.
I do too. I'll stop saying it. They go to the car park.
So we learned that we already talked about it. The cop is the shoplifter's dad.
Yeah, and the manager yells at Joss to go clean himself up because he looks terrible.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick.
And Jamie and her cop dad fight. Dad's taking her to lockup this time.
Right, and they go
Damn
down
it,
to the
this time.
car park.
Yeah.
And as
this time he's not letting her go.
And as they're down in the parking garage, Dad sees Doyle, right?
Yeah.
Your Nip Tuck guy, putting a gun back of his pants and walking into the store.
Yep. And he follows him.
Yep. And he's also wearing a toque, right?
Oh, yeah. A winter hat is what I said.
That's right. Who wears a toque in Australia?
Well,
who wears a ski mask in Australia? We don't know it's a ski mask yet, but when you pull it down.
But it's summer. Mask. Everybody's out in bikinis and.
Well, it's Australia. It's even summer and winter in Australia. It's winter in Australia right now.
Yeah, it's winter in our summer, but
and it's still.
I was there in the
winter.
winter.
It's still warm.
Yeah, it is warm.
So Doyle goes in, pulls down his ski mask, goes into the manager's office.
And before he does that, he looks back around so everybody can see his face, and then he pulls the ski mask down. It's like, that's not good for the security cameras, but okay.
And the store manager, whose name is Jessup, says there's no money in the safe. He doesn't believe him, makes him open it. He opens it, and indeed there is no money. So then he says, "Where is it?" So Doyle's walking Jessup out with a gun to his back. The cop sees him. He pulls a gun. So that's why I said we got two guys in the middle of the store with guns pulled, and no one notices. Okay, whatever. Then we see the second robber in his mask, and he's got a hostage, and he tells the cop, "Drop the gun or I'll kill her," and he does. Right? He shoots her. Well, I don't think we see him.
I didn't see that because I didn't.
We cut to the next scene, and she's on the ground laying in a pool of blood. So.
See, I missed that somehow.
And then he grabs Tina after he kills that hostage and puts a gun to her head. And this is where shit starts going crazy, right? Everything starts shaking. So this is when the tsunami hits.
Well, wait. So it's cutting back and forth from the inside of the food mart and the car park. And while they cut from that scene of the robbers into the car park, and Ryan comes out and sees, what's the shoplifter girl's name? Jamie. And he says, she's like, "Why do you care that you lost your job?" Because She got him fired, basically. She's going to go back in to get him his job back. So she goes back into the store.
Yeah, that's what she says. Yeah.
And then while they're in there, the couple in the fancy car call the kid, Ryan, freak boy from history class. So we establish him as a nerd. So we've got the athlete, the pretty girl, and the nerd now in the car park. And Josh is in the washroom and the water doesn't turn on. And then he hears the gunshots and that's where I missed it, I guess. And then there are gunshots.
Yeah. Well,
and
they didn't show it.
And the robber has Tina.
Right.
But then crashing begins. It's like an earthquake for those of us who have lived in California. That's what they always show you. So,
yeah, but it's a tsunami.
Yes, it's a tsunami, people. But did you see this part? So everybody's running from the beach because the big waves are coming. It's a tsunami. Did you see the surfer dude?
Yeah, he
runs towards. So everybody, everybody is running in a massive exodus from the beach. And the surfer dude is like, oh my God, and runs like he's going to surf the tsunami.
And then we see a girl get a propeller right through her forehead too.
For no reason.
That was cool. I like that. That was cool.
Yeah. So the CGI tsunami hits.
There's lots of dead bodies under the water. Supermarket flooded.
Yeah. Girls squashed between the shelves. Someone's face plants on the BMW windshield.
And slowly, one by one, the people who are still alive pull themselves up on the top of this frozen food section freezer or something, right?
Yeah, it'd be like if you were walking down the frozen food aisle on both sides of you. So they're coming up on top of that.
And this is where Doyle learns that Jamie is the cop's daughter. Not that it comes into play anytime, but I made a note that he looked at her when she said dad to the cop, and he's like, oh, okay. So
we're establishing relationships. So we know she thinks Ryan's dead in the car park. Right. Josh is, where's Tina? Where's Tina? The cop has a big piece of metal in his leg.
Yeah.
And it's bleeding.
And we see a body that has the same mask as the second robber floating in the water. So we assume the second robber is dead.
Right. And Josh does find Tina and pulls her out.
Yep. Tina's alive.
And she's freaking out. She's like having PTSD or something.
And then suddenly bodies start being pulled underwater. Bodies that are floating, dead bodies.
There's dead bodies everywhere.
Oh, all of a sudden they start getting pulled under. I wrote something is amiss.
Very observant.
Yeah. And I also made a note, well, we see Tina's new boyfriend, Steven, dog paddling or some shit. And I said, he ain't going to last long if he keeps swimming like that.
Yeah, I thought he was a random guy until they pulled him out.
Yeah, no, that's Steven.
Yeah, I realized later.
And we cut to the couple in the garage who are now underwater in their car.
Arguing.
But somehow that car is like fucking airtight.
Yep. They're underwater.
That doesn't happen. Water would be leaking in.
Well, and then we see who's the nerd? Ryan. He was
in his VW van.
That's upside down.
It's upside down now, and water is slowly leaking into his vehicle.
Yeah.
And he ends up breaking a window to swim out.
Would you have broken the window right away? I would have stayed in there. I would have probably slowly suffocated. Because at what point?
He would have had an air pocket probably if he wouldn't have broken.
For a while, right?
Yeah. Yeah, until he breathed in all the oxygen, and then all he was breathing.
But then you just go to sleep. Right. You just go to sleep, right? And then you just slowly go to sleep.
And
that's yeah. So I'm just saying, in this situation, that's probably what I would have done.
So we cut back to the
supermarket. I was by
myself,
like he is. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. Yes.
We cut back to the supermarket, and Tina's new boyfriend discovers that she is alive. And then the store manager tries to use a cell phone. Of course, it doesn't work. None of their cell phones work. They're all wet.
Yeah, and Josh pulls the metal out of the cop's leg.
Yep. And then Doyle volunteers to go check the loading bay to get out. The cop says, no, I don't think so. And he says,
there's two ways out. either the front or the loading bay.
And the cop says, no, I don't think so. And he sends the store security guard to go instead.
Yeah, and Tina and Steven check the front.
And we cut back to the couple in the car again in the garage with Bully, the Pomeranian. And it starts barking. It seems he sees something in the water.
And Ryan almost bites it, but he makes it out.
And we cut back to the store, and bodies are still being pulled under. And I said, Josh knows what's going on now. And he orders everyone out of the water.
Did
like
you
a
see
good lifeguard would, I wrote.
Exactly. Good lifeguarding. But the shark has a baby doll on it. Did you see the baby doll head?
No.
It had it had a kid's baby doll on it. And so the baby doll head was coming towards you above the water.
Yeah, it does sound familiar, not just say it. And then the security guard goes under, who was checking the loading bay.
Yeah, because everybody's screaming, "Get out of the water!" And he's saying,
he does make his way back to where everyone else is on the freezers or whatever. And he puts his arm up and he starts yelling, "Help me!" And just as he says, "Help me," his head starts floating away.
I think, who has a hold of his arm? Jamie? Is it Jamie?
I think so.
Yeah, and she's got a hold of his arm, and the rest of him floats away.
Well,
so
his head floats away. That's all that's left of him is his head.
Well, and the arm's detached too.
Yeah, they see the shark, and they determine by the distance between the fins that it's probably a 12-foot great white shark.
So at this point, I'm just curious because I'm watching the movie, and it's 12 foot. So we established 12-foot great white shark. Great. How many dead people have we seen in the water? 15,
many.
Right?
Think about next time you're in Kroger, just stop, look around and say, okay, me and 5 other people are going to survive. How many bodies does that leave? Right?
Right. So how hungry is a great white shark?
Maybe it doesn't want dead tissue.
But it ate the security guard. And it ate
He was alive. He was alive.
I know. So he's eaten that. And he ate other people. We saw it. So how hungry is
I see what you're saying. So
like at some point it's satiated.
How many people does he need to eat?
Yeah. There's no way. But anyway.
And we cut back to the garage and Ryan is trying to find a way out.
Because of course the nerdy guy is going to help the assholes in the car.
Yeah.
Right. They're not helping him. He's going to figure it out.
The couple in the car, Heather and Kyle, are still underwater. And wrote again, the car must be seriously sealed. Kyle says, "Give me your shoes." He's going to try to break the glass or something with them.
I guess.
And the girl says, no, I'm not giving you my Gucci's. And he says, "They're not Gucci's." And she says, "Yes, they are. You bought them for me." He says, "Yeah, they're not Gucci's. Give them to me."
Yeah, at first I didn't know if he was saying it just so she would give him the shoe or they really
he's
were.
a douche.
Yeah, so you're right. He lied to her.
But somehow the girl knows how to open the sunroof.
Well, it's her car.
She pulls out a little toolkit and shit and opens the sunroof.
Yeah, maybe that's how it used to be. I don't know.
In 2012, that's how it used to be in 2012.
I don't know. She got it to work and it opened up. And
in Australia, maybe that's the way they are in Australia. You have to have a secret key. Whatever. She figured out how to open the sunroof.
Maybe it works because if they're submerged, their automatic ones aren't going to work.
Right.
So maybe it's just a way to open it if you can't work your electronic ones.
Sure. Okay.
Kind of like when you need to get out of the trunk.
So then we see a shark swim in front of the car. And then it slams into the window of the car on Heather's side.
And finally, some water leaks in. So at this point, I still don't know, is there one shark or are there 2 sharks?
Oh, there are 2 sharks.
Well, you figure it out for sure later, but I didn't know if it was somehow swimming.
I knew there was 2.
No, not me, people.
It may have been because, how much stuff I looked at before I picked the movie.
Oh, I couldn't tell if it was swimming around in the food mart and out into the car park somehow. I didn't know. So I'm right. 2 sharks? ?
Yes, there are 2.
Well, later, yes, I know.
We cut back to the grocery store again, and finally, the guy who we learn is Kirby talks.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
Yeah, and then when the girls say, "Why does it keep circling? Why does it keep doing that?" Who is that says that? Do you know?
I think it's Jamie.
Okay, then that was my impression of Jamie.
Because Tina knows. She says it's
Kirby.
curious.
Yeah, it's curious. And then Kirby says it's trying to decide if we're food or not.
Yeah.
And I made a note, Tina still needs to eat a Big Mac or two. And then there's live wires in the water, or getting close to the water, sparking. And they decide they need to shut off the electricity. Otherwise, they all might get electrocuted. Josh tells them the power mains are in the storage room and he volunteers to go. But wait.
Tina says no. His arm is leaking blood. He's injured.
That's right. But then Steven has an idea. Her new boyfriend, Steven. And we cut back to the couple in the car again.
The annoying couple in the car.
Help us do something is all I have written. Is that what they do?
Well,
help us, or are they talking to Ryan?
They're talking to Ryan to help us. Yeah.
Okay. Help us do something. Okay. Yeah, I get it now. I needed a comma in there.
Not help us do something. Help us do something.
Ryan, bastard, help us.
Even though I've just called you the nerd from history.
As I was pulling up my pants.
Yeah.
So then we cut back to the grocery store again. And Tina's new boyfriend, Steven, his idea is to encase himself in a cage made of shopping carts. And he will go shut off the power. And then he and Tina have a tender moment together as he's about to go in the water.
Well, Josh and Steven talk, and Steven tells Josh that Tina missed him.
Yeah, whatever.
And then they put the basket on his head.
Right. And they have a hose so he can breathe. And they're up there on top of the freezers holding the hose. And he's got cans tied to his feet to weigh him down, right?
Which I don't know why he had to do that.
Because otherwise he would float to the top.
But he could swim.
I guess. So he starts walking.
Wait, yeah, but do flashlights work underwater? I mean, if you just took
I have lots of questions about things that work underwater. So.
I know. Well, I'm sure. And I probably was going to ask you. But if you took a normal flashlight, would it work underwater?
And all those Maglite commercials, they show it in
but
water.
These are the ones that have like the big D battery in them and stuff he's carrying. All right, we're going to try that sometime.
Might be watertight. As long as it's watertight, it'll work. I mean, as long as there's like a gasket where you screw the lens on it, it should work. Okay, so Steven is walking towards the power main to throw the switch. And then a big CGI shark bumps up against him. And the wires seem to be getting closer to the water. Did you notice that? Yeah,
and there's a CGI snake or eel or something.
Yeah, I didn't need that. That was money you didn't need to spend, movie makers.
Yeah.
So Steven is a few feet away from the power, but he runs out of air hose. He can't go any farther.
Yeah, and he's
only like a couple feet.
And Josh has the other end. And he's pulling him back.
So Steven throws the air hose out of his mouth and shuts the power off. But after that, he can't surface because he's weighed down with the cans. And Josh pulls the hose in, right?
Yeah, that was actually pretty sad, I thought. I mean,
Steven drowns.
He does.
And then I wrote, so now Josh has killed Tina's brother and her boyfriend.
Yep. But Steven turns the power off.
He's a homicidal maniac.
Steven turns the power off underwater. Don't you think that's an issue? The power box is underwater.
I know.
All right, just saying. Okay, yes.
Hey, it was sealed just like the flashlights, I guess. I don't
know. Okay. But yeah, okay. Josh is homicidal maniac.
Yeah.
And the lights are still on in the fridges. So I don't know if that.
Well, there is another power box,
yeah.
We see later. So that could be. And so then Jamie tries to console Tina. Tina
questions why. And I wrote, these two girls have perfect makeup on, even though they've been underwater.
Yeah. And that made me wonder, actually.
No running mascara.
So when they were filming this, did you think they said, okay, everybody jump in the water. Okay, get out and then we'll film this scene? Or how did they get themselves all wet? You think that's what they did?
I don't know.
Or do they just like take a hose and spray them? Okay, action. To get them all wet.
I will give them credit. They were wet the entire time. They never like suddenly had dry clothes on.
Right. Yeah.
This must have been pretty miserable to film because they were wet.
Not a lot of wet t-shirts though.
Well, no, they had undergarments on. But they were like they had jumped out of the water. Yeah. They looked like that part was pretty authentic looking.
while Jamie is consoling Tina, she tells her a story about her mom when she was dying.
Jamie thinks this is karma for
Yeah.
her running off to America. Tina is just, I don't know what she did, but must have been bad.
So then Doyle and Naomi have a tender moment too.
Yep. There's a couple. He explains he's a good guy.
Yes. And throughout this whole thing, I have him, he's the good guy robber. That's what I have him called.
Me too.
Until I learned his name. And then Josh sees the air conditioning ducts and the light bulb goes off in his head. Right? They could almost put a light bulb over his head. Then we cut back to the garage. Ryan is sawing off the hand of a dead body. He's going to try to lure the shark away from Heather and Kyle. So he dips the hand in the water and starts squeezing it so that the blood squirts out in the water.
So they can swim to his van.
Yeah. Tells them, hey, see my van over there? Swim to it. So they swim to the overturned VW van. But just as they're about to get there, Kyle throws the Pomeranian into the water
to distract the shark.
Yeah.
It's one of those, I don't have to be fast. I just have to be faster than you
right?
Moments. Yeah. So he sacrifices Bully.
Then we cut back to the shopping center again, or store, whatever, market. And Josh and Doyle throw a rope over the air conditioner duct so that they can tie someone up to it and pull them up, and someone can go in the air conditioning duct and try to get help or get out.
Yeah.
The store manager volunteers since he's Asian and small.
That's not why. He just says he's sick of being there and he wants to get out.
But they did say they needed someone light.
Well, your cheeseburger girl should have been the one.
Yeah, she should have. Hell, she weighs what, 95 pounds?
Probably 85, but
a lot less than the store manager.
But you have to be able to pull yourself up into the duct.
She's pretty fit. So they pull Jessup up, the store manager, and he opens the air conditioning duct and finds out it is full of crabs.
Is that what they were? Crabs or spiders? I couldn't figure out.
They were crabs.
Okay.
And they fall down on him and he falls down. The shark comes up and takes half his body.
It was pretty impressive. The shark jumps out of the water and snaps him right in half.
Right in half. And then Kirby falls in. The dude, we don't know his name as well. Did they call him Kirby yet?
No, they don't yet.
I don't know, but that's who it is.
But he makes it back up. Yeah.
And they rescue him. And we cut back to the car park again. And we got the couple on the VW van. And she's pissed off because Kyle threw the dog.
Calls him a dog murderer.
Yeah, you're a murderer. And that's worse than a people murderer. Ryan is still trying to find a way out. And he gets startled by a severed head. Then I made a note that Kyle's a dick.
It took you this long? He does, and he drops his... So
Ryan drops the flashlight in the water. Then he goes down and gets it.
And he's kind of climbing across on a pipe.
Right. So he tries to shimmy across the sprinkler pipes in the parking garage, is what I believe they are. And he stumbles and falls into the water.
Yeah, they show the shark right underneath him before he falls.
So then he swims to the VW van and Heather and Kyle pull him up. But in the process, Kyle falls off the other end of the van and gets eaten.
Yeah, see, I missed that. And I thought they killed the nerd and I was pissed. I was like, what do you kill the nerd for? But then I realized it was Kyle.
It was Kyle.
And then what an anticlimactic death for him. He just fell in. He wasn't trying to save anything. He wasn't trying to be a hero or try to help some. They just knocked him off the van and, as you like to say, he gone.
Cut back to the supermarket. And Doyle comes up with a plan to catch the shark using one of the meat hooks from the meat shop.
Yeah, Doyle's had enough of this shit.
Yeah.
He's like, we're going to do something.
I'm going to catch a fish.
Yep. This is bullshit. We got to move.
The cop volunteers to go get the meat hook. But before he can, his daughter Jamie jumps in.
Because now she loves him.
She always loves him.
But now she's going to sacrifice herself.
I don't know that she wouldn't before. I didn't get that they were estranged or anything.
When they were walking down to the car park and he's telling her he's going to put her in jail that time, they were definitely estranged.
Okay. So she does make it over to the meat department, and they
She
throw
does.
her a rope. She ties a leg of meat to it, and they pull her back. And then Tina and Josh have a moment, I wrote.
Yep, I wrote the same.
So they throw the meat hook out there with the leg
Well,
of
wait,
meat.
no, wait, we gotta. You didn't explain the moment.
That's all I wrote.
Oh, for God's sakes. Okay, people.
Here,
Here's the moment.
Karen, tell us about this touching moment.
Here's the moment, people. Josh blames himself. He always set the buoy.
That's right. I just already said he's a homicidal maniac. He kills everyone close to Tina.
You're ruining my moment.
Sorry, go on.
But Rory did it for him that day. He should have been the one to die. And then everything slipped away and he's sorry. But Tina says he doesn't need to say sorry to her. He needs to say sorry to himself. And she would have been there for him if he had done that. Then they throw the meat hook in the water.
All right. They throw the meat hook in the water with the leg of meat. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Leg of lamb, something? Shit, I don't know.
No, it's like a lamb.
Or a pig is what I don't know.
It's like
leg.
half a cow or something. I don't
No,
know.
it's not half a cow.
No, but it's a big leg. Yeah.
And the shark does not take the bait. And this is when Kirby reveals himself as the bad guy that he is.
Yeah, does Doyle not recognize him?
Well, of course he did. And that's why I wrote, why didn't Doyle take care of him before this or out him or whatever?
I mean, this was an intriguing twist. I definitely did not see this coming. You know, because we saw the robber in the water wearing the mask, the shooter robber, not the nice robber, the shooter robber. We saw him floating.
We saw a body with the mask on in the water.
And I bought it. I said, okay, that dude's dead. So this was an intriguing twist for me. But I'm like, Doyle didn't act like he knew that he was there the whole time.
But he did. He was giving him looks like the whole time.
I guess I didn't notice.
Well, I noticed because I knew.
No. Well, Kirby he's a weirdo and he's like saying crazy shit the whole time. I guess the only thing that I noticed is he was like a crazy dude. You'd think that he would have been killed a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Like more random than the security guy or whatever. Just should have been dead earlier. So that makes sense.
He says that the shark wants live bait. So he grabs Naomi and starts to hook her up to the hook and he throws her in the water.
Yeah, he's going to shoot her too. Yeah.
And right at this point, Doyle stabs Kirby through the chest with the little spear knife he made earlier, we didn't talk about.
Yeah, but that's probably one reason you thought he was like special forces or something, because he immediately made a spear knife.
But he couldn't get the knife out of the packaging. Naomi had to show him how.
She did. Well, because you have to be tender
and gentle
and patient.
Yeah. So then they pull Naomi up and put Doyle in the water as bait with the hook.
Not Doyle. They put Kirby.
They put Kirby.
Doyle's pretty brutal in this moment. It does show.
I said he's kind of a badass. I think he's like special forces. That's what I think. And I think he's got a dog tag on the whole time.
Kirby doesn't make it.
Nope. He's bait. But they do hook the shark.
Yes.
The shark does take the bait and they hook it.
And somebody says, oh my God, it worked.
Yeah. So then we cut back to the couple in the garage. Well, not the couple now. It's Heather and Ryan now since Kyle gone. We see the dog on a surfboard.
Bully's back. And then he jumps
And then it jumps in the water and starts swimming towards the car. Well, he makes it.
He does.
Then we cut back to the supermarket again. This movie keeps going back and forth, back and forth. And one by one, all the people are jumping in the water to try to escape since the shark is all on a hook and all.
But Ryan's banging on the pipes.
Yeah. And Ryan in the car garage gets the idea to bang on the pipes. So they start hearing it. And then Jamie says, it's Ryan. I know it's Ryan.
How she knows, I don't know. But...
I don't either. And she decides to go get him. And of course, Josh goes to help her.
Well, the dad asks Josh to follow her. Tina kisses Josh and there's a necklace transfer. So we didn't say earlier,
his necklace.
She notices that he's still wearing, obviously, a necklace she must have given him. And so before Josh goes off to follow Jamie, he transfers the necklace to Tina.
So they're going down the stairs and Josh finds a flashlight It's working. Of course, he bangs against.
Yeah, he
Oh,
bangs
here
it,
It's on. It's on now.
and now it'll work underwater.
Yeah. It swims down to the parking garage. And then I made it out that he's pretty smart because he realizes they need to close the upper door before they open the lower door. Otherwise, they will completely flood the basement parking garage, right? All the water will
Yes.
go down.
Yeah, so they have to swim down. The stairs are like 3/4 full or almost all the way full. So they have to swim down the stairs. And he looks through, there's a door with a long, skinny window like you would have. And he looks through and sees that it's not flooded. So,
Yeah, there's an air pocket. So, yeah, they close the upper door and then they swim down, open the other door.
Which, how hard would that be to do?
I don't know.
Don't you think that'd be pretty hard with water on both sides of it?
Yeah.
You can't open a
It's
car
kinda-
door
yeah,
when you're
exactly.
submerged.
Yeah, no, I don't think it'd be done. And
Like
then that's when they
I thought they'd
discover.
break the window and swim through or something. I didn't
But
think
once
they
the
would.
window's broken, you can probably open the door.
Yes, because it wasn't all the way to the top.
'Cause then you're got
But they just used their
pressure equalizes and all that shit.
Yeah, they used their superhuman strength to open the door.
Well, yeah. And then they discover that there was a second shark.
That's where I say, okay, there are two sharks.
Right.
Because the first one's still up in the supermarket, hooked and tied to a bunch of shelves.
Right.
So it's stuck.
Josh and Jamie end up seeking shelter on top of the police officer's car. So her dad's car. And Jamie tells Josh that there's a gun inside. Of course there is. A police car. And he goes in to get it. So he goes in there, dives under, goes in the car and finds a pump action shotgun.
Okay. I thought of maybe a flare and something else. I don't.
Yeah. Definitely a taser.
Yeah, definitely.
So then he jumps in the water. Josh
Which again
jumps in the water.
would have been underwater, just for reference.
But
All of
Josh
this would have been
jumps-
underwater.
Well, Josh jumps in the water at this point and he shoots the shark with the shotgun at point blank range.
Yeah, he lets it swim towards him.
Towards
it was
him.
pretty cool. And it waits and then right under its mouth. Yeah. So do guns work underwater?
I don't know.
John, where are you when we need you?
It's a good question. I think they do.
We'll check into that.
So anyway, one shark's gone. So then we cut back to the supermarket again. They're trying to find a way out, but the door is blocked by a vehicle, what appears to be a Jeep to me.
Yeah, it looked like a Jeep.
And they come up with a way to blow a hole in the door.
Doyle does.
Yeah. I don't really understand this whole thing, how he does that. And then there's an aftershock.
He comes up with a plan. He's going to do something, somehow blow up the battery. It has
Right.
something to do with the battery in the car and it's leaking. And there's some electrical equipment on the wall. And somehow he's going to connect those two and cause an explosion. But an aftershock hits, which of course causes what?
The shark to get loose, gets off
Yep.
the hook.
It does. Josh goes into total hero.
Yeah, and they're back up there now in the supermarket, right?
Yeah.
So Josh tries to use the shotgun, but it doesn't work. It just clicks, doesn't fire. So then he pulls out the taser and fires it at the shark as it is coming out of the water for him.
Well, wait, he's hanging upside down
Yeah,
from a pipe. Yeah, he's
Okay.
total Terminator mode.
yeah.
He's all mad now and he's hanging upside down and the shark jumps at him
Yeah.
and he shoots the taser
Shoots the
right
taser.
into its nose.
Yeah.
The taser that's been underwater. And he doesn't know if it's going to work or not.
I would put more faith in the taser than the shotgun, but maybe I'm stupid. I don't know. But it works,
Yep.
and the shark dies from the taser.
Well, I guess. And then there's a big explosion.
Well, then Doyle throws the electric switch,
Yeah.
which is hooked to the battery of the car, blocking the entrance, and it blows up. And I wrote, I don't know why, I don't know how, but it does.
It does. And Josh and Doyle both fall into the water.
And Tina and Josh embrace in the water.
Well, first, Josh and Doyle fall into the water and it's still nothing, for a few moments. Then Josh surfaces, then Doyle surfaces. And then
okay.
Tina and Josh have a moment
Yeah, they embrace.
and everyone swims to the exit.
They all crawl their way out of the supermarket to see the destruction all around them.
I just make a note that cop's going to have gangrene or a staph infection.
And there are helicopters above. And apparently Doyle and Naomi have become close.
They're standing together.
And
Yes.
she puts her head on his shoulder.
And Tina asks, what do we do now? And what does Josh say?
Start over. Then they zoom out and we see all the destruction in the town.
Yeah, it's
Skyscrapers are torn to pieces.
everything's gone.
Yep. And we see a seagull. I wrote swimming, but he's obviously not swimming. He's flying. We see a seagull flying down
With
towards
happy
the
music.
water. Yeah. It's kind of like, Noah puts the dove out there.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was like. Yep.
And it gets eaten by a shark.
I will say I did jump.
The end.
I was embarrassed that I got busted. I jumped because I thought they were going to do that with the peaceful seagull flying off.
Then the credits play while Mac the Knife is playing.
Are those
that
the
song.
actual words?
Yes. Yes, they are. That's how I knew it was Mac the Knife.
I recognized it, but I couldn't place it. And it was a rock version.
Yeah. Bobby Darin, Mac the Knife.
But that's not who was singing it. It was a cover. So did it scare you?
Oh, the shark has pretty teeth, dear, and he shows them pearly white. Just a jackknife. I don't know, but yeah, it's talking about a shark. I can't even read this.
Did it scare you, the movie?
No, it didn't.
Okay. So you'll still go swim in the ocean?
Yeah. I won't go in a grocery store anymore, though.
Anywhere where a tsunami could hit?
Yeah.
You're safe in your hometown.
Oh, the shark babe has such teeth, dear, and he shows them pearly white. Just a jackknife has old Macheath babe, and he keeps it out of sight. You know when the shark bites with its teeth, babe, scarlet billows start to spread. Fancy gloves, though wears old Macheath babe, so there's never a trace of red. What the hell is Macheath?
Listen to the version at the end of the
Macheath.
movie. Don't listen to Greg's version.
It's a fictional character.
I was going to say, is it a name?
Yeah, Captain. Fictional character who appears in several different operas.
Fictional character that appears in Mac the Knife.
Yeah, and actually, he's you know what penny dreadfuls are?
No, I mean I saw the series, but are they just short stories?
Yeah, they're
stories?
like early horror comic book kind of short stories. Yeah, he's like the main character in one of those.
That's a cool name, Penny Dreadfuls.
Mm-hmm. In the Three Penny Opera, he is referred to as Mac the Knife, and is the subject of the song of the same name. He's a cutthroat rapist and seducer of underage girls.
Okay, well, that's darker than I expected.
Yep, so that's what it is. So what'd you think?
It was okay. If you're not going to do the six-headed shark, which I tried to get Greg to do, but he refused.
Anything you really liked?
Okay. I guess if I had to pick something, there wasn't a whole lot there, but they got me with the robber mask. So I'm going to give it, that was added some intrigue, made it a little more interesting. I thought that was a good touch because I missed it completely and was surprised when he was later that dude.
Mm-hmm. Anything you were disappointed in or didn't like?
Well, I just think that ocean water would have been totally disgusting and gross, and them jumping in and out with all their injuries. They're all going to have dysentery just from jumping in the water. I don't know. I mean, could a 12-foot shark really swim around a supermarket? I guess. And at the end, the shark jumped and ate the seagull. And like how I like to have my sequel moments. So there was that.
Yes.
What about you?
I liked it.
Besides your man crush on Doyle.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I did have a man crush on Doyle. And I think my favorite girl was Naomi. So I like Doyle and Naomi. That's kind of weird, isn't it? They end up together.
Yeah.
Jamie was all right too. But
yeah, I like Jamie. I like Jamie and Ryan.
Naomi better.
My power couple is Jamie and Ryan. I'm going to go with them. But I thought it was well done. I mean,
The only part I didn't understand is about the car blowing up and all that shit. I didn't understand.
well, there's lots of things we don't understand in these movies. So, and we have to find out if guns work underwater.
Yes. You can fire a shotgun underwater provided you have a waterproof shell.
Now,
Not hard to do. You just need some wax for the front and some lacquer for the primer, apparently.
but I don't
But you
think
kind of
any.
need to plan for it. If you're gonna do
Right,
it.
that's what I'm saying. And they don't. Then they need waterproof flashlights. So if they had been in a camping store like REI or what's the other one where you can buy all the camping equipment? I can't remember, but maybe a little more believable.
Yeah, it says, oh, here's someone. For many years, they have used shark getters, quote unquote, that are basically a short barreled shotgun, which is what he has. They use a 12 gauge shell. It is dangerous to shoot any gun underwater, but you can.
Why is it dangerous?
I guess shrapnel and things like that. I don't know. It's also known as a bang stick.
But that's a specific thing.
Right.
This was just a shotgun in the back of a cop's car.
Yeah. In the case of a shotgun, a 12 gauge, for instance, the barrel will likely fill with water. So when you fire it, you're trying to move the weight of that water and the weight of the shot out of the shotgun.
So it'll slow it down.
If the barrel is not completely filled with water, but there is a bubble of air in the barrel, it will act as an obstruction.
Yeah, that would be worse. Yeah, that would be worse. Yeah.
Now, somewhere on YouTube, there will be someone explaining it can be done. The question is, how many times can you do that before it kills you? So,
well, if it's you or the shark, I think it's worth a shot.
Oh, yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. I mean, he was, point blank. The barrel would have exploded. It would have taken out the shark as well. So, right?
From what it looked like, yeah. But if it jammed with the air bubble, he would have been shark bait.
Yeah. Apparently, it's not a good thing to do.
Well, but these are desperate times.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a guy has a YouTube channel and he did it, and the barrel peeled like a banana, blew up. So, yeah, I wouldn't suggest it.
Unless you're face to face in the supermarket underwater with a 12-footer.
Yeah. What'd you think of the cocktail?
I really like the cocktail. It reminds me of vacation. I could see sitting on the beach under an umbrella, because you know me, and having one too many of these and falling asleep back in the apartment or condo or hotel room, whatever.
Yeah, I like it, but mine's very tart. So I don't know. We keep having these tart beverages that make it hard to talk.
Well, I don't know if the next one will be. We'll see.
So what kind of cocktail rating would you give this movie?
I didn't hate it. I think it was okay. Did it have a theatrical release? Was it in the theaters?
Yes.
Do you remember it? I don't remember it.
No. Well,
or was it here or only in Australia?
It might have been direct to video now that you mention it.
It was a little too good to go direct to video, wasn't it?
Yeah, its box office was $32.5 million.
So it was it was worldwide release?
Italy, Australia, and Singapore. It has 3 different release dates.
But doesn't sound like it was here.
No, it doesn't. One of the writers was Russell Mulcahy. I saw that name. I'm like, wait a minute, I know that name. He directed Highlander, the first Highlander movie.
Ah.
Christopher Lambert.
I give it a 3.
3?
Yeah.
I was actually going to give it a 2.
I didn't like it that much. I think you were just pleasantly surprised that you got through it without being afraid. But it had, a decent story. It had some twists. It had some romance. It had,
And there was a sequel, but it was canceled.
Oh.
There was a sequel involving a plane crashing in the water on its way to Australia from China. But then there was an actual plane crash with the similar. And they said, yeah, let's not do that then.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. It had a good story, twists and turns. It had, lots of gore, if that's what you were looking for, lots of deaths. And I think the gore was kind of creative, where it was half a body or when the guy floats away and she's still holding the arm, or his head floats off. I mean, it was creative gore.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with 3.
It had something for everyone. Animal lover, the Pomeranian makes it. Romance, gore, intrigue. It was all there.
I looked up all these actors too and checked out all their stuff. And a lot of them have worked together at one time or another, especially on this H2O Just Add Water TV show in Australia.
Is it a soap opera or something?
That's like a drama or something. I don't know.
Oh.
But most of them, they all do Australian shit, you know, except for like that Doyle character guy that you knew from Nick Tuck, the chick who plays.
Wait, did he speak with an Australian accent?
Yeah, the chick who plays Jamie was in some American movie.
She looked familiar.
Yeah, she's done a lot more than the rest, I think, in the States anyway. Westworld, she was in Westworld on HBO.
I don't, not seen that, but she did look familiar.
And she was in The Vampire Diaries, which was a CW.
Yeah.
And H2O Just Add Water. And so was that chick who played Tina. And she's been in a lot of other stuff too. The Blue Crush 2, CSI, NCIS, Cold Case. So she's done more like American TV, but hasn't been doing much lately for some reason. Oh, she was in You're Next, horror movie.
Oh.
People who wear like those animal masks.
Oh, that's pretty recent, isn't it?
Not really.
No.
Time flies. That was in 2013. No, that was in 2011. She did that movie just before this one. Julie and Dana William McMahon.
With the over sculpted eyebrows.
Yeah, he's the son of the former Prime Minister of Australia.
Wow.
But yeah, he's in Nip Tuck and Robot Chicken as Dr. Doom. In the Fantastic Four movies as Dr. Doom. So
it wasn't bad. I think of all those kind of movies, it was one of the best ones I've seen in a shark kind of, beyond Jaws, you know, which was life-changing for many of us.
Yeah, when you're 9 years old.
Yeah, that's a high bar. But as a general sci-fi like movie, I thought it was very good. But still, it's not as good of a movie as other horror movies. So in its genre, it's very good. But in the overall picture, I wouldn't say it's definitely not a classic. But it's good. I would recommend it.
It's no Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. Is that what you're saying?
Well, there's nobody that looks quite like Nancy in there.
I don't know. Naomi kind of looks like, I like Naomi. She's pretty hot. So anything we learned today, Karen?
Fact-wise?
Yeah.
How much money Australian lifeguards make a year?
$50,000 to $70,000 a year.
Yeah. Tough job.
Yep. Learned that
shotguns.
McKeith was a rapist.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, excellent. And a seducer of underage girls.
Yeah. You can fire a shotgun underwater, but it's not recommended.
And I would use the
It will fire. It just may not be good for anyone near it.
I would prepare accordingly if you're going to do that. Get the wax and the waterproof
yeah, but I mean,
shells.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't even want to try it.
No, I do not recommend that you do. And the next time you're grocery shopping, you and 4 other people would
look
make
around
it out
the
alive.
store and say, okay,
choose wisely.
Me and 4 other people will survive if there's a
See
earthquake.
Me, who
would I want to be on top of a freezer with?
I'm going to want a lot of strong people and a lot of people who can keep a cool head, because I could do neither of those.
Yeah, if you see one of those nuts in there carrying a gun, you might want to take them too. So.
Or at least the gun. Take more than 5, because you're going to need a couple to feed the sharks.
Or whatever.
So shop with your husband or wife. Go shopping with your enemies. Not that your husband or your wife is your enemy, but go with your frenemy so that if you have to toss someone in.
So I believe next movie is your choice. Is it?
Is
it not?
It is. We're going to go back again. We're going to do another cult classic.
So this will be episode 13.
Ooh, that should be a special one.
It should be.
But yet, here we go. Another It's So Bad It's Good movie.
Well, we'll see. I don't know.
I don't know. I've never seen it. So again, it's something that I think that should be in our repertoire. You ready?
Yeah.
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
I've heard of it, and I know that I think Tim Burton did a movie about it, didn't he? With Johnny Depp?
Oh, he did a movie about Ed Wood.
Yeah, but isn't that who did Plan
Yes.
9? Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll watch that one. I wonder if that one's historically accurate. Hard to say with Tim Burton.
Do we have a cocktail?
We do. It's going to be the Corpse Reviver number 2.
Number 2.
In case the first one doesn't work.
What are we going to need?
This one's got some interesting ingredients. You're going to need absinthe.
That stuff messes me up.
But a very, very small amount. So,
okay.
Gin.
Okay.
Dry vermouth.
2 of my favorites. Okay.
Dry vermouth.
Yes.
Orange liqueur.
Yeah, we got that.
Freshly squeezed. No, we have peach liqueur.
Oh. Orange liqueur is not the same?
No. Well, probably. And then freshly squeezed lemon juice and an orange peel for garnish. Okay. So it's going to be an interesting one.
So I need to get orange liqueur.
Well, do you have, it says, is it Contral? Do you have that?
I don't, but I know what it is.
Okay. That's the orange liqueur.
Okay.
So that's a little bit more top shelf than our peach liqueur. I think our peach liqueur is like what you'd get drunk on in high school or something. You know?
Yeah.
Lowbrow. I shouldn't say that. It's peach liqueur.
Do we need to thank anybody for delivering your alcohol this time?
No, I actually had all this alcohol. What I had to get was the pineapple juice, but that was not delivered by anyone except my son. He brought it.
We do have to thank once again the band Verse 13 for letting us use their music in the podcast. Once again, their information will be linked in the notes. Anything else, Karen?
Happy Shark Week. And please remember, always drink responsibly.
Yes.
Once again, we have proven that the movies might be iffy, but the drinks are solid. Be sure to show us some love and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Scary Spirits Podcast. Email us your questions and comments to scaryspiritspodcast@gmail.com. Search for us on YouTube at Scary Spirits Podcast. You can find all the recipes for our themed drinks in the recipe den on our website, scaryspirits.com. And we highly recommend our Scary Spirits merch store. Lots of cool stuff with our logo on it. You can find a link to the store on the website. And remember, you can help build our audience by leaving us a 5-star review. As always, thanks for listening.